This is the last time Elisa Lam was seen alive. Her behavior was bizarre, her death inexplicable. Was it mental illness? Killer hiding in the shadows? Or something even more sinister lurking inside one of America's most haunted hotels? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking into the case of Elisa Lam. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an upload. In January of 2013, 21-year-old Canadian student Elisa Lam checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. But only 2 weeks later, she would be found dead in a water tank on the hotel roof. The circumstances surrounding her death were bizarre and disturbing, leaving many questions and few answers in her wake. Over the next few minutes, I'll be breaking down everything we know about what happened to Elisa Lam. What was her life like before the events of January? And why did she go to LA in the first place? This seemingly random trip would end up being much more sinister than she could have ever imagined. Born on April 30th, 1991, Elisa Lam was a bright and happy young woman who was studying theater at the University of British Columbia. Despite struggling with bipolar disorder, she kept the condition under control with medication and was not considered a danger to herself or others. She had taken a semester off from school and decided to take a solo trip to Los Angeles. She traveled to San Diego first, where she spent 3 days checking out the city, before making her way back north to LA on January 26th. She booked 3 nights at the Cecil Hotel, starting at $130 a night. The thing is, there are reports showing that she booked 5 nights at the hotel, which leads us to believe that she extended her stay once she arrived. But why exactly did she choose the Cecil? It's never been confirmed, but perhaps the hotel's budget-friendly accommodations caught her eye. Then again, maybe she specifically chose the seedy downtown LA hotel for a different reason. According to a receptionist who spoke to her over the phone, Elisa made a reservation under a fake name and asked for a quiet room away from elevators and ice machines. While she didn't explicitly state why, perhaps she already knew how loud the hotel was and she wanted to avoid the noise. As a frequent user of the site, TripAdvisor, she could have read reviews online, which often complain about these issues. We may never know for sure. Elisa was last seen entering the elevator on the 2nd floor on January 31st. 3 days later, when she failed to check out of the hotel, staff went to her room to investigate. They tried knocking but received no answer and peered through the peephole. All they saw was the room was neat and tidy and the bed was unmade. They opened the door to find it empty. The police were called, and after speaking with hotel staff, they learned that the front desk had received several calls from people claiming to be friends and family of Elisa. These individuals said that they were trying to get in contact with her, but she was not answering any of their calls or emails. Some of these people were concerned and asked the hotel to check on her well-being, but the staff refused, saying that they could not enter the room because she had not yet checked out. Surveillance footage from the hotel lobby showed her leaving the premises several times between January and February. But when the police checked security footage from the elevator, they found something strange. In the clip, Elisa appears to be alone, but as the elevator ascends to the 2nd floor, someone can be seen getting off while she remains inside. After the doors open, she peers out before pressing the down button. It doesn't stop there, though. After pressing the button, she appears to look out the elevator doors again, and then quickly presses the up arrow again. As she takes another look out the elevator doors, she seems to realize something. She puts her finger to her lips as if to stifle a scream. Whoever or whatever was outside the elevator has vanished by the time the doors close again, and she is left alone. So what do you think happened here? Let me know your thoughts down below. In a further attempt to retrace her steps, the police revisited the places Elisa had been seen on surveillance footage. She was spotted walking west on West 6th Street towards South Main Street, turning south onto South Main before disappearing from view. At this point, detectives were looking into all possibilities, including foul play. To this day, however, they have never released a statement explaining what they believe happened to Elisa. So let's break down some of the leading theories. Perhaps her bipolar disorder got the best of her, and she suffered a psychotic break right in the elevator. Symptoms of bipolar psychosis include difficulty distinguishing reality from fantasy and disordered thinking. It's possible she may have pressed the up button again after seeing nothing but air in the elevator shaft. When she realized there was nobody there, she put her finger to her lips as if to stop herself from screaming. But why did she keep re-entering the elevator? If she was experiencing a mental breakdown, it makes sense that she may have been confused and scared. She may have gotten into the elevator with a stranger and felt threatened. Whoever this person was simply walked off the elevator when they reached their floor. Alternatively, Elisa could have stepped out of the elevator herself. However, there's no evidence that she left the shaft, which begs the question, how did she die? A second theory is that foul play was involved. According to the enhanced footage, there was somebody in the elevator with Elisa. Whoever this person was left the elevator on the second floor and may have followed her around the corner and down the hall. At first glance, it looks like the hallway is empty, but a closer inspection reveals the truth. There's a set of footprints just outside the elevator doors. Although they appear faint, there's no question that somebody is standing there. If this is the case, why hasn't the perpetrator been caught? It's possible that Elisa's killer is still at large, hiding in plain sight. Maybe they fled the state, or even the country. This would explain why there was no DNA evidence found in her room or in the elevator. But what if there's something more sinister at play here? Could Elisa have been taken by a ghost? Guests have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as they walk into the lobby of the Cecil Hotel. Some have claimed that they have seen ghosts wandering the halls. Others have experienced unexplained phenomena, such as shaking objects, flickering lights, and cold spots. When talking about the elevator where Elisa was last seen alive, one guest recalled, "I got in the elevator and immediately turned around and ran out. As I looked back, I saw a tall, thin, white figure that appeared to be staring at me. I didn't know what to do, so I ran out of the elevator and closed the door. I felt like it was evil. Is it possible that Elisa may have encountered one of the hotel's ghosts?" On February 19th, the Los Angeles Fire Department conducted a search of the rooftop, where they discovered Elisa's body in a 700-gallon water storage tank. It was around noon and temperatures were in the mid-60s when they pulled her lifeless body from the tank. At this point, the police were still unsure how she ended up on the roof and even more confused about how she managed to get inside the locked equipment cabinet. The lid weighed around 40 pounds and was bolted down. But when officers arrived on the scene, they noticed that 2 of the bolts were missing. This led them to believe that the tank had recently been opened. But how did she manage to lift the heavy lid? The metal tank was filled with drinking water and stood at least 6 feet tall, meaning that even if Elisa had somehow managed to push aside the heavy lid, she would have had to climb in somehow. Considering the narrow opening, it would have been difficult for her to do so without assistance. What's even more bizarre is that there were no surveillance cameras on the roof. Despite the fact that the area was restricted to guests, who authorized the removal of the cameras? And why was the tank left unsecured in the first place? And finally, why did guests report seeing black water leaking from the ceiling on multiple occasions before Elisa's body was found? Could she have been in the tank all along? When news of Elisa's death reached her family, they flew to Los Angeles and hired a private investigator to conduct an independent investigation. According to the autopsy report, the cause of death was listed as drowning, but the manner of death was classified as undetermined. There were no signs of trauma or foul play. While the coroner called it an accident, the family believes that she was pushed into the tank. Her brother, Elisa Lam, told reporters, "It doesn't add up. She was on medication, very responsible, and wouldn't go anywhere without her cell phone. That's why it's so weird. She wouldn't jump into a water tank. She loved her life. She had so much going for her." One Redditor came up with 4 possible scenarios that may have led to her untimely death. The first is that she was heavily sedated and stumbled onto the roof. She may have climbed into the tank to take a nap and accidentally drowned. Another possibility is that she climbed into the tank in order to take a picture and lost her balance, falling into the water. A third theory is that a serial killer who frequented the Cecil lured her into the tank. And finally, a fourth theory is that she climbed into the tank to commit suicide. Sadly, we may never know what really happened to Elisa Lam. All we can do is speculate based on the scant details of this harrowing case. Do you believe Elisa's death was accidental or foul play? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe for more true crime content.